Good afternoon. The Lord be with you. It's good to see you again. Here we are. We've got Genesis 24 and following. Um, Good day for a Bible study. Good day for time together. We'll wait for some folks to catch up, and then we'll get going. Uh, Good stuff. Good stuff. Hi, Bobby Cho. The Lord be with you. Couple of things. I haven't gotten the live announcement yet, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. Oh, there it is. A couple of shares, and then we'll be going. Jennifer, Steve, Jean, the Lord be with you. Eric, the Lord be with you. All right. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I hope you had a great day. I hope you had a spectacular day. We've got a good bit of Genesis to run through today. Remember, we have an ongoing discussion. This discussion is if you have a question or a comment or a thought, go ahead and throw it into the discussion, and we'll go from there. I'll see them and I'll respond to them as we go. I like to respond to them. That's why I'm wearing the headphones so I can hear the messages as they come in. Hi, Faith. The Lord be with you. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. All right, so we stopped with the search ongoing. Yes, I heard, Marilyn, that Pastor Hines' installation is August 9th. Not going to be able to make that. I wanted to make that, but I'm not going to be able to do that. All right, so let's roll, shall we? So Abraham wanted a wife for Isaac, his son, and Isaac was Abraham was getting older in years, and he wanted a wife for his son, and so he sends his most trusted servant, his number one guy, over to and makes him swear, and and sends him to his old land to find a bride for Isaac. If he can't find a bride for Isaac, he's released from his bond. Isaac, on the other hand, is going to stay right with Abraham because Abraham does not want the promise to go back to his old land, because God promised the Canaanite land to Abraham, and that's where we stopped. And so Abraham's servant goes to his old land, and is a little worried and apprehensive about that oath that he made to Abraham, and so he asks God, the God of Abraham, to be faithful to his promise to Abraham. Chesed, that Hebrew word, covenant, faithfulness. So he asks him to be faithful to that promise, and that what he's going to do is he's going to wait by the well, the water cooler, and he's going to wait for somebody to show up, and then he's going to say to them, can you put down your, when a girl comes up, can you put down your water jar? Can I have some water? And if they respond by, not only am I going to give you water, but I'm going to water your camels, that's the gal. And before he can finish the sentence, Rebecca walks up, does exactly that. Everything happens just as the Lord, just as the servant had prayed. And so the man just sort of gazes at her in silence to sort of ponder whether or not the Lord had prospered his journey or not. And that's verse 21. So we begin with 23. Move everything around so I can see everything. When the camels had finished drinking, when she had finished, drinking the camels, or watering the camels. The Ish took, that's a ring of gold, and that ring was weighing about a shekel and a half a shekel. So Becca is a unit of measure. I'm having a moment here that I wasn't having before, and I just want to check something. But so it now starts the gifts. He's going to give gifts to them, and he's going to give gifts to them, and we're going to go from there. So here we go. So he gives a ring that weighs about a becca, half a shekel, and he gives her a gold ring, 2 bracelets for her arms weighing 10 gold shekels. So we're already giving out the gifts. He is handing out the gifts in order to move this thing along. He sees it. He's starting to see it. Please tell me whose daughter you are. Verse 24. Please tell me whose daughter you are. And is there room in your house for me to spend the night, for your father's house? And she says, I'm the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, whom she bore to Nahor. Ding, 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 ding. So he was sent to get someone from his household, from Abraham's household, to marry Isaac. And now we have Rebekah, who is the girl who is the answer to the prayer. He slaps a ring on her. He puts bracelets on her. Where's your father? Well, who's your father? Your father happens to be actually of the family of Abraham, and that makes her the second cousin, the second cousin of Isaac. It's like there's a God, because there is. Diamonds are a girl's best friend, and gold works too, says Erica. Thank you. Yeah. In the ancient world, you slap some shinies, and you start the ball a rolling on the courtship. She added 25. She said, we have plenty of straw. And that's a word that means like it's fodder. It's like stuff to eat for the animals, and room to spend the night. And there's room to spend the night. And the man bowed his head and worshiped the Lord. And this is just, you see, he doesn't have to ponder it anymore. He doesn't have to ponder it anymore. Because he sees it. He sees that God's done it. And that God has done this, and it's good in his sight. That God has answered his prayer and answered the quest. Have fun storming the castle to find Isaac a bride. Okay? Prayer answered. Everything is working out just as Abraham had sent him to do. And Abraham's God is going to see this through. And at stake in all of this, and this is just in history. Don't miss this. This isn't just history. This isn't just let's find out about the God of Abraham. This is your salvation. Isaac, through Isaac is going to come the Son of God. This is huge. And so what we've got here is God answering prayer for Abraham, his seed, for Isaac's sake, and for our sake. All right, Isaac is going to be the father of Jacob, and God is going to be referred to for the rest of the Old Testament as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And he's going to make promises. Yeah, nice catch there, Maggie. He's going to make promises to his people and identify himself by what he's done for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's a little tight, but we're going to, I got that on a little tight, but we don't need to undo that. All right. So he blesses God and he says, Berka, blessed be the Lord, the God of my Lord Abraham. Blessed be Yahweh, the God of my Lord Abraham, who has not forsaken chesed, his covenant faithfulness. There it is, that word that I was referring to earlier, that God is faithful to his promises. So, blessed be Yahweh, the God of my Lord Abraham, who has not abandoned his steadfast love and his reliability, his emet, his amenness. All right. I never heard of an allergy to a metal. Does that cause a rash? That would make gold not your friend. So God is both chesed, he is covenantly faithful, and he's amenable. You could say amen to him because he keeps his promises. And that promise was toward was to his master, to his Lord. As for me, the Lord has led me, so like I've been led by the Lord in the way, in the derek, to the house of my Lord's kinsman. Very faithful servant. 3 times he mentions Abraham in this prayer to God, who has answered his prayer. And now all he's got to do is do the negotiations. Talk them into letting Rebekah go back with him to Abraham. Or Isaac in this case. I'm just thirsty. Greek food before Bible study is not a good idea. My tongue is thirsty. All right. So the young woman, again, she ran. The young woman ran. She's a Nahara. So she, and she was identified with this word earlier, and that she didn't know a man. Okay. So she ran and told her mother's household about these things. And so I want you to sort of picture this. So tents for everyone, 1 tent for husband, and 1 tent for the girls. We have this today. My grandparents slept in different rooms. A lot of couples do that. Our culture has married people sleeping together, but that's not necessity. Here the same. Mom and kids in 1 tent, and dad in another. Okay? All right. Rebekah had a brother whose name was Laban. We're going to get back to Laban later. Laban ran out, there's that word ran again, to the man, to the spring. So Laban's going to run out and greet the servant who has slapped a gold ring and bracelets on his sister. Sister? Hi, Terry Lynn. The Lord be with you. As soon as he saw the ring and the bracelets on his sister's arms and heard the words, the davar of Rebekah, and we got the words, she said, thus the man spoke to me these words. He went out to the man. So this is protective brother. Gonna go out and find out what's the deal with this guy slapping stuff on his sister. It's reminiscent of Friends when Ross looks out the window and sees Chandler with, hey buddy, where are you? Where are you, Thor? Chandler with his sister's like, get your hands off my sister. He wants to know, this is real. This is what real life is. So you met a guy at the well who slapped a bunch of jewelry on you? What? And behold, he was standing by the camels at the spring. So guy hasn't moved. Waiting on permission to sojourn, to sleep the night there. Come in, O blessed of the Lord, a blessed of Yahweh. Why do you stand outside? For I have prepared the house, the berith, the bayit, excuse me. Berith is covenant. Either he was faithful or he totes the necessities around with him all the time for just in case. Terralyn, you're going to have to explain that. The man was faithful. I think that he brought, remember, Abraham sent the servant with a bunch of stuff in order to procure this girl. Not buy, but shower her with gifts that makes the trip worth its while. Okay. So the man came in. Good thing she liked animals, or it could have ended differently. She's the right person for Isaac. God is working through this. How do you know that she's the right person? Not just the prayer answered, but also what happens with Isaac afterwards. How do you know the person that you married is the right person for you? You married them. God brought you together, and he's promised to keep you married until death parts you. So the man came to the house. He unbound. He opened the camels. He unharnessed the candles. He natad them. He gave them straw, and that's that word for fodder, both straw and fodder. And there was water to wash his feetsies. He washed his feet, regel, and the feet of the men who were with him. And so we've got hospitality. Sin breaks things up. So God joins together in sin. So it's not God that fails marriages. It's people who fail marriages. It's sin. It's death. Great point. Great point. So God's working to keep marriages together, and sinners are working to pull them apart. Okay? And then the food was set before him to eat. But he said, I will not eat until you've heard what I have to say. And so Laban said, speak on. So he said, and what he's going to do is, in a very Hebrew type fashion, and this is something you should appreciate, okay? Why does the Old Testament have a lot of repetition? It's because Hebrew has a lot of repetition. Why does Hebrew have a lot of repetition? Well, because it was a spoken language before it was a written language. Because Moses, who's writing this, was not alive when this happened. So he doesn't have eyewitness account of what's going on. He has the stories passed down and the Holy Spirit. Well, the Holy Spirit and the stories passed down is a better way of going. So you have this language, you have this history that's recorded up until the time of Moses and passed down by means of story. And the way that a story gets remembered is by repetition. And so Hebrew has a lot of these moments where a whole story is repeated again. And it's also to make sure, Bobby Joe, yes, because repetition says, repetitio mater studorum est is the Latin for that. Repetition is the mother of learning. And so what you'll have is God says to do this, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And so they did A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This is what happened, and this is what he prayed, and we're going to have this is what happened, and I prayed, and this is what happened, and they exactly line up. They may have some slight word changes, but this is important to take note of. When you have real history, you have stuff like this. Okay? When you have somebody sitting down and writing it, you don't have this. You don't. Somebody sitting down and writing what they saw, they would have simply said, and this is what happened. But I love the story anyway, because it gives a chance to sort of rejoice in and review what the Lord has done. So he said, I am Abraham's servant. Okay. The Lord has greatly blessed my Lord. Yahweh has greatly blessed my Lord, and he has become great. He has given him flocks and herds, silver and gold, male and female servants, camels, and you got to always say it like Shrek, donkeys. And Sarah, my master's wife, my Lord's wife, Adonai, my Lord's wife, bore a son to my Lord in his old age. And to him he has given all that he has. And so Abraham has given everything to Isaac. And that's who I'm on a mission for. So my Adonai, my Lord, made me swear, saying, you shall not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell, in whose land I dwell. But you will go to my father's house. Hey, Matt, I think you're our first visitor from the Netherlands. But you shall go to my father's house on patrol. Thor is on patrol. What's going on, buddy? Come here, bud. You want one of these? Come here. Nope. No, you don't. Whew. He's like, I know what you're going to do. You're going to make me make an appearance, and I don't want anything to do with that. You shall go to my father's house, and my father's clan or family unit. What's another word for that? Kinsman. It's family. So you'll go to my brother's house and my brother's family. Yeah. And take a wife for my son. And I said to my Adonai, I said to him, maybe the woman won't follow me. Verse 40. This is exactly what happened. But he said, the Lord, before whom I have walked, I love it, I love it, I love it, will send his messenger, his angel, with you and bless your way and prosper your way. And you shall take a wife for my son from the family, from the clan of my father's house. 41. Then you will be freed from my oath when you come to my clan, my family. And if they will not give her to you, you will be free from my oath. So he tells this story to them before dinner because this is so important to him. There's no tarrying. There's no, let me get to the point in the meal where I feel like we've well drunk and we're comfortable with each other, and then I'm going to ask you to let me take your daughter. No, here it is. All right. Abraham, you know Abraham, right? Oh yeah, we know Abraham. Yeah, we know Abraham. Abraham wants this. And so there's no messing around here. There's no messing around here. Let's see if I can find it again. I had this yesterday. Let's go back here and see. Okay, so remember, this is the family unit. Okay, we have Terah, who's the father of Abraham. He's also the father of Nahor. Bethuel is the father of Laban and Rebekah. And so when they say Abraham, Bethuel's like, oh, my uncle Abraham? And Laban's like, oh, my uncle Abraham? My great uncle Abraham. Now you got it. And there's no playing around. Tick-tock, baby, tick-tock. It's time to get going. And he doesn't mess around. He doesn't try to schmooze him. He says, this is it. This is what God's doing, and this is what's going on. 42. So I came this day, Yom, the day, this one, to the spring and said, Yahweh, the God of my Lord, Abraham, if you now, if you will, if you will succeed or you will prosper the way in which I go, behold, I'm standing by this spring. Now, remember yesterday I made reference to how the word maiden, which was used earlier, was later on going to be translated with the word virgin. And both of those are synonymous. Because in the ancient world, maidens, before medlock, did I really say medlock? Wedlock, maidens are virgins. For the most part. Okay? And so the idea that Mary is not a virgin and that Isaiah is not referring to a virgin is literally absurd. Okay? It's literally, again, when stuff like this, when you hear stuff like that on the History Channel, you just need to sort of think to yourself, oh, it must be around Christmas or Easter. It's just not biblically based. Mary's a virgin. Mary did not know a man. The same word in Isaiah is used here. So, O Lord, the God of my Lord, Yahweh, Yahweh, the God of my master, if you are prospering the way I go, behold, I'm standing by a spring. Let the Alma, young woman, virgin. This is the same word that's used in Isaiah. Behold, this will be a sign to you: the virgin shall conceive and bear forth a son. So, a different word than earlier, but emphasis added that she's a virgin who comes to let the virgin who comes to draw the water, to whom I say, please give me a little water from your jar to drink, and who will say to me, drink, and I will draw water for your camels also. Let her be the woman whom the Lord has appointed for my master's son, for my Lord's son. You know, I was thinking, I joined a fraternity when I was younger at LSU. I didn't really know what I was doing. And there's a way in which the fraternity members can recognize each other whenever they are talking to one another. They haven't been properly identified. It's the same way as we see in spies in movies, or I was watching on I think it was Hulu, The Shadow, the other day, where the shadow agents are able to recognize each other because one of them says, the sun is shining, and the other one says in response, but the ice is slippery. This is another one of those moments where, like, okay, I'm going to say this, God, and then she's going to say this. And if that happens, then let her be the girl. So what he says is, hey, can you put down your water jar so you give me some water? Yeah, it's the club sign. Right. I think it's the same for sororities, but secret handshakes and all. I was an awful fraternity guy because during the, and I was at LSU, this was in the 1990s. And I was a founding father of a fraternity too, because they brought Delta Sigma Phi back to campus, which lasted, I think, 15 years before it was kicked off again. But during the, it's not a commemoration. It's not an installation. It's during whatever the initiation ceremony is. I got to thinking, what an absolute mistake this is. I shouldn't be doing this. A lot of generic God stuff. This is ridiculous. And because I was already headed for seminary. I was just along for the ride. And I finished it, but I never went to something again. I never went to anything again. I didn't pay my dues either, which is why when I was at seminary, I got a bill from the fraternity for like $800, which I never paid. Negotiated that down. I'm sorry, I didn't pay it. So I was on the first picture of the fraternity, but never showed up. Anyway, they simply called me Dude, because that's what I called all of them, because I couldn't remember any of their names except for my close friends. Bad fraternity member. Same thing here though. Rebecca, put down the thing. Would you give me some water? Not only that, but I will water your camels also. Okay. Terry Lynn didn't join either. But you're smarter than me because I made it to the initiation, which was, by the way, mentally traumatic. To throw a toga on you and play the Chipmunks for 8 hours is torture. I think there was water dripping on me too. But nevertheless, it felt like 8 hours, and I can tell you that Christmas time is near. Time for joy and time for cheer. And Alvin is off key. Oh, the system guy, Newman. Anyway, but before I had finished, and this is interesting, earlier Moses described it as before he had finished speaking, and the Septuagint had said in his mind. Here, I think the reason why the Septuagint grabs that is because here in 45, when he's retelling the story, Beta Sig, I didn't know there was a Lutheran fraternity. He says, before I had finished speaking in my heart. I like that. So before I had finished speaking in my heart. And you will notice the Septuagint again translates it the same way, in my mind. Okay? So before I finished translating, okay, just so you know, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but this part is Hebrew, which I read with some difficulty. And this part, which you can see up here, is the Greek Septuagint, which is the Greek translation of the Hebrew, which I can read like it's English. Yeah. So this reads this way. And this reads this way, just like English. So, yeah, it's a hot mess. Anyway. But my Hebrews, oh, tons better, thanks to us doing Genesis every single day. So before Rebecca came out with her water jar on her shoulder and went down to the spring in order to draw water. Draw like a sword. To draw water. And I said to her, give me a drink. Nah, please. Um, 46. She quickly let down her jar and from her shoulder and said, drink, and I will give it to your camels also. I'll give you drink for your camels also. So I drank, and she gave water to my camels also. And then I asked her, whose daughter are you? And she said, Bethuel, Nahor's son, that would be Nahor, who Milcah bore to him. So I put a ring on her nose and her arms also. Wow. Can you imagine that? Hey, here's a ring. Let me put it on for you. Clip. I'm sorry. Bracelets on her arms. And I bowed my head and I worshiped Yahweh and blessed Yahweh, the God of my Lord Abraham, who had he had led the way, your way. Yeah, right. Rather forward. Well, Terry Lynn, God is working in this and he sees it. And so he doesn't waste any time. It's like, I'm not going to let you even eat and do your I'm not going to let you eat, do your the proper thing for guests, hospitality. There it is. Do your hospitality until until such time as you know what it's about. Yes, I see what you're doing there. It's like my girlfriend Beyonce says, Sandra, if you want it, you need to put a nose ring on it. Who has led me on the right way to the daughter of my Lord's kinsman for his son. Now, Ata. Right. Well, Terry Len, the brothers saw it. The brothers saw the gold on the wrist and the gold on the nose, and ran out to meet him and invite him into the house. Okay. Before we finish this section, it's time to say, go to higherthings.org. Yeah, words are following me today. Go to higherthings.org, and I want you to get and register for the virtual conference, which is next Thursday and Friday, the 6th and the 7th. 10 great hours of content. Speakers like Fisk and Roseborough and Finker and Goodman, all your favorites, and then some. Matt Richard and the like, all. And great hymnody in competitions, and you get 6 months of my HT, which is the premium content from Higher Things. Premium content from Higher Things. So you get 6 months of that. So if you love what we're doing with the Bible study, you'll love it. You'll love more. You'll love it, and trust me, I would never let you down. I've not let you down for 102 episodes. I'm not going to let you down. Chris Hall, Brad Drew, Pastor Espinoza. It's a bunch of amazing content. And you want to get it now, go to higherthings.org/conferences today and get it. Get it. You will bless me. You will bless me. I promise you. All right. Let's finish this section up, shall we? All right. Now then, if you are going to make hesed to my master, if you're going to show that covenant faithfulness and that amenness, both the words we had earlier. Hey, buddy, where are you? I thought I heard him. Yep, he's under there. Sorry about that. If you're gonna show my master covenant faithfulness, and you're gonna show him the ability, the amenness, stuff that is worthy of an amen, faithfulness to my Lord, tell me then. And if not, tell me, that I may turn to the right hand or to the left. So I'm going to need you to tell me how this is going to go. Okay? So before we even eat, I'm going to need you to tell me what's going on. Because this is what this is all about. This is it. This is the money moment. This is my final answer. What's your final answer? And Laban and Bethuel answered and said to him, these words from the Lord has brought forth these words. The Lord is behind all of this. And we cannot speak against it. We cannot speak to you bad or good. So it really doesn't matter what we think, because God is at work here. This is the way of faith. They see it too. All right? They see it too. That God is at work in this to bring about good for Abraham's household. And if God is at work with it for Isaac, then God must be at work with it for them too. So that's what's going on. That's what's going on. And so what this means by, so it doesn't matter, we can't speak about it to the good or to the bad, is look, what does it matter what we say? What does it matter what we think? Not in a bad way, but in a good way. Are those all the speakers? Look at all of those speakers. Buteau, Drew, Espinoza, Goodman, Hall, Peppercorn, Richard, Roseborough, Finker, Fisk, Keith, Madden, Mize, Simic, and Sturzenbecker. Oh, and me too. That's for the virtual conference. Hi, Brenda. The Lord be with you. Brenda catching it at the end, but you can always rewind. Good stuff. This thing has come from the Lord. These words, davar, have come from the Lord. Behold, Rebekah is before you. Take her and go. And 51, let her be the wife of your Lord's son, as the Lord has spoken. See, they see it. And this isn't just, oops, I forgot to put the text back on, but this isn't just coinkydinks, serendipity, luck. This is about Christ for you and God working out Christ for you. Everything he does in recorded history is to prepare you for Christ in and out of the scriptures. Lestico is on the first name basis with some of these folks. That's the way you should read history. All of history is moving toward Christ coming to save you. The Pax Romana, the business with the Greek philosophy, there it is. The business with all of it. Everything that happens in the scripture is moving toward, and outside the scriptures, is moving toward the Lord saving you in recorded history. And afterwards, it's for the spread of the gospel and for the Lord to save you. If you view everything as coming from the Lord's hand as gift, then you will, in the Old Testament, for your salvation, and in the New Testament, for your salvation, then you can also, by the way of faith, see everything that happens to you in this life, the good and the evil, as from the Lord's hand, as gift to you in order to save you. He doesn't do evil. He allows it to happen. In that is usually translated as calamity in English, but ra'ah. When he disciplines you, it's to save you. When he blesses you, it's to save you. Here, with Isaac and Rebekah, it's to save you. His words really aren't working today, but it's a gift. When Abraham's servant heard their words, he bowed himself to the earth and worshipped Yahweh. More gifts. And the servant brought out jewelry of gold and silver, garments, and gave them to Rebekah. And he also gave to her brother and to her mother costly ornaments. Expensive, shiny things. This becomes like Oprah Winfrey. And you get jewelry, and you get jewelry, and you get jewelry, and you get jewelry. I want to finish this section, but I just don't know. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So, before all the gifts get given, well, let's let them leave. We'll stop after they leave. 54. 55. 54. Excuse me. And he and the men who were with him, they ate and drank, and they spent the night there. And when they arose in the morning, he said, send me away to my master. Send me away to my Lord. And they said, her brother and her mother said, you got to watch Laban. You'll get stuck there for 7 years. 14 years. If you don't watch Laban. Sorry. But that's later. Spoiler alert! Eric, no, he was there. He was mentioned earlier. He just didn't have gifts for him. Because Laban and Bethuel were there, and wasn't she the? I get my people confused. Let me look up here. Rebecca is the. I'm the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah. So Bethuel was actually at dinner. He gets nothing. And the servant did go to Ur. He went back to Abraham's old land. So Gene, that's your question. Eric, that's your question. And we're cooking with gas. All right. And you're probably dizzy watching the text move. Her brother and her mother said, let the young girl shuv with us, remain with us for a while. At least 10 yoms, at least 10 days. After that, she may go. So this is sudden. Let's have 10 more days with her, and then you could take her. It's not unreasonable. But the servant said, do not delay me, since the Lord has prospered my way. Eyes on the prize, man. Luther has a whole section against a whole section against procrastination. The Lord has spoken. The Lord has acted. It's time to get moving. No delay. All right. At 10 days, sorry, we're going to do this. Got to go. All right. Send me away that I may go to my Lord. And they said to her, let's call the young woman and ask her. Let's see what Rebecca says, which I'm sure they thought. Was going to be like, oh, okay, Gene, wherever, I don't know geography. I'm assuming that that they went back to Ur. I don't know. I'm that's a lot of miles. But whatever it is, I don't know distances, Gene. So I'm gonna have to look back. I thought wherever his family was, his old land. That's Ur. I don't know. But anyway, stumped by Sandra's mother. Drat. So what's Rebecca going to say? You'd think that Rebecca would be like, I'd like to stay a little longer. They called Rebecca and said to her, will you go with this man? And she said, Alak, I will go. And so they shalaked her. They sent Rebecca, their sister. They sent away Rebecca, their sister, and her nurse, and Abraham's servant and his men. Okay. We're going to get their blessing tomorrow. But what we got today is the fulfillment of what the Lord had promised. But the servant isn't going to be home yet because we've reached 56 minutes and Sandra's going to cut my stream off. But I want you to sort of take this and just picture it as this is how the promise is fulfilled. The promise made to Abraham. The promise that his seed would be as numerous as the stars in the sky. I'll see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a good day. 2 p.m. tomorrow for 24-25. And thanks for joining us. And we'll see you in a hop, skip, and a jump.